going on? Another day, another show, another episode, ready to go. My name is Toby Brendel, and I'm the host of the Tavern Sports Podcast, and hopefully you guys are having a great day so far. I'm actually doing quite well. Surprisingly, it's going by really, really good. So, let's just pray to the gods that it continues. Yesterday, I do have to say, I'm sitting down around 7 o'clock. I'm looking at all the sports, trying to figure out what the hell should I talk about. Could not figure it out. I was racking my brain just trying to figure out. It's like, okay, I need topics for the show. Nope. There's nothing, there's no doubt about that. I need topics for the show. Should I talk about baseball? Yeah. I'll just leave that with the Punisher podcast. Should I talk CEBL? They're starting to wind down and get into the playoffs. Let's just pass on that one. Should I talk NBA Summer League? Hell no. Way too much. And you could actually listen to one of my previous shows and I tell you what I feel about the Summer League and how it is absolutely flooding everybody with so much basketball. Then I stumbled across something that NHL.com on Twitter kind of brought to everybody's attention, which I do have to say, if you're old school, it was very, very dark. Tony Esposito, Hockey Hall of Famer, died Tuesday at the age of 78 from pancreatic cancer. The younger brother of Phil Esposito, Tony won 418 games for the Blackhawks from 1969 to 1984. It is a very sad day when it comes to the goalies in this particular gentleman. When you think Esposito, I don't think of his older brother. I don't think of his brothers, the guys who played out. I think of him. But I guess once you're a goalie, you're always a goalie. Any chance and opportunity, you're always looking at the pads, the stance, the helmets, everything. You pay so much attention to the goalie. Can anybody out there tell me if this is true with defensemen or forwards? If you're a centerman, do you follow the centerman's stance, face-off abilities, hand gestures, playing? Or are goalies just a special breed? I don't know. I still think that we're a special breed, and once a goalie, always a goalie, no matter what. And in reality, if you have never been a goalie, I think you should. The amount of things I've saved because of my reflexes, it saved my ass, and there's no do to boot it. So my recommendation, go out there, be a goalie for at least 1 year. Your reflexes are going to be absolutely insane. Next up, I really got to get Living in the Wild podcast going. This has created such a huge story across the upper Midwest. Yeah, okay, upper Midwest. The Wild, their negotiation with Kaprizov is still flatlined. They said the last time when these two people, or the Wild and Kaprizov, met at the bargaining table for a contract was in April. And it was 8 years, $8 million. They wanted to lock him up. And Kaprizov said, no, I don't want to be locked up for 8 years. I want to be locked up for 3 or 4 with like 10, 11, 12 million a year. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Talks have gotten so dry, and people don't really dig deep. They just want the news now. And here is some of the news that was released within the last 48 hours. The Moscow team of the KHL has offered Kaprizov an 8-digit 1-year contract. So just in case you're trying to figure out, it's either 10, 11, 12, or 13 million. I seriously didn't think that KHL actually had that much money to pay for these superstars to play over there. That just blew me away. The only thing that I can think of is Kaprizov actually wants to go home. Because there's no way you can push and be like, I want this for this long, that's fine. It's almost like a bargaining table saying, this is what I want. If you can meet it, great, I'll stay. But if not, screw you, I'm going home. That's what I think. But right now, what the Wild are trying to do is they're trying to sign so many people to make their team kind of a repeat team of last year by signing the star players, giving them contracts, giving them everything they want. Then on top of that, they want to keep Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and get them a very strong centerman so they can actually have a nice line number 2, line number 3. They wanted to go Eichel from Buffalo, but the sad thing with that one is reports are saying that Eichel might actually be out for a little bit more longer time because of his neck. Plus, Buffalo was asking a little too much for him. Who do you believe? Really, I don't have a clue. It's just a big question mark. If Kaprizov is going to be like that, just let him go. We don't need it. We don't want this whole Minnesota story to be ingrained within our books again. It's just kind of getting a little overplayed, if you ask me. All right, guys. I apologize about the short show. Short show. It is what it is. I just couldn't find anything that was really good to talk about. Like, don't get me wrong, there was sports even across the season. Like, for example, in soccer, a guy wanted to sign with Barcelona. He was willing to take a 50% pay cut. Instead, he goes over to Europe and plays, I think, with France. And France basically opened him with wide arms. Baseball, still not a fan. Punisher Podcast covers that for us right here on the Tavern Sports Network. MMA, exact same thing. Punisher Podcast, make sure you go check them out. If you need a link for this show, Living in the Wild, or the Punisher Podcast, make sure you head over to bio.link/Tavern Sports. That will take you to all 3 shows, as well as other things that you may need, like email, Twitter, Instagram, Medium for blogs. Tons of things to go and check out. If you're on a platform like, for example, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, make sure you give us a like, a follow, even a share, comment, anything like that. Those little things do help us. Come on, help us grow into something big, better, and more fun. This weekend, what I want to do is I want to try and get one of the boys from the Tavern Sports crew together and create a show. Don't know how well it's going to work. We'll figure it out sooner or later. If you have any questions, comments, yes, you can feel free to email us at tavernsportsnetwork@gmail.com. If it's a certain show or topic, make sure you put it in the subject line so the proper person absolutely gets it. Whoa, birdies. Otherwise, I'm going to have to say thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you tomorrow, hopefully with a little bit more subject. If not, we'll talk about video games right here on Tavern Sports Podcast.